Terrific, and I'm live. Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a quick reaction video to the confirmation of the appointment of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the US Supreme Court, which everybody is talking about, the first Black woman who is now sitting on the Supreme Court. Now, what we make a story out to be tells you what our intention is. And I think we've got the wrong story. I think the story should rather be about why it took so long for a person of such talent to accede to this position. First of all, she had the baseline qualification. Everybody on the Supreme Court has to go to an elite law college, your Yales, your Harvards, and so on. And Ketanji Brown Jackson went to Harvard. But beyond this, I have seen a comparative table comparing her talents to the other people on the Supreme Court, mostly men. And I was a bit staggered because it seems that she is way more qualified than the others. She's got experience of clerking, which they all have, but she also has more experience of litigation, both as a defender and as a prosecutor, and various levels of jurisprudence than all the others. And it begs the question, why would it take so long for a person of this talent to get to where she has got? One, two, haven't there been others before her with these kinds of qualifications? Now, so the story for me isn't about rah, first Black woman sitting on the Supreme Court. Let's all be very grateful, because that would signal to the establishment how pleased everybody is with the glacial pace of development. No, the story very much is what I call the story of the judicial petrodollar. And what do I mean by that? A couple of people have mentioned that powerful women or powerful people, so-called of color in the United States, need to be connected to white Caucasian partners. Okay, so significantly, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is married to a white person, and it so happens that Ketanji is also married to a white male. And why is that significant? I think it's significant because of the story of the petrodollar. From the late 60s on through into the 70s, the oil was traded exclusively in dollars. And what this did was that it created a massive demand for the American currency. By creating this kind of demand, there was a buoyancy created for American economics and the American economy that gave it a 10-15% nudge lead over every other economy in the world. So what I'm saying is that if you apply the petrodollar argument to these situations, it means that if you're a person who is not Caucasian in America and you want to get ahead, you need to stock up in the currency that gives you access or gives you progress. And that would be engagement with somebody who is of Caucasian stock. Now, of course, that, just as it did for the US economy, just as it did for the dollar, would raise the stock enormously of people who are either Caucasian or male. And that would provide an unfair advantage. And if this unfair advantage is going on, what motivation do people who look like that have for dismantling the system? But I'm arguing that actually it is this rigged system itself that needs dismantling, which is why the story isn't about the fact that the first Black woman has been elected to the US Supreme Court. The story is about the fact that, owing to the systemic discriminations involved in the system, these delays take place. The story now shouldn't be about the first Black woman getting to the Supreme Court. The story should be about the systemic obstacles and obstructions that cause the kind of delays that make it so that in 2022, the first Black woman got onto the US Supreme Court. So this is what we got to do with our intention. I believe in the world going forward after COVID, after the disruptions that we've had with the world economy, after the disruptions which we've had with public health, after the disruptions which we've had with our democracies, after the threats to world peace itself by what is going on in Ukraine, any system that causes inequality within our world needs to be addressed. And those who used to benefit from the inequalities of that situation themselves will not be served by maintaining those inequalities. And that is where our intentions should be. Because one of the abiding lessons of COVID and the way it was managed was that the way the less privileged used to be treated started being visited on some of the formerly privileged people today. What that means is that inequality is inequality. Discrimination is discrimination. If it's happening to one of your fellow citizens, it's only a matter of time before, by the back door, it will be visited upon you. Let's change our intent. Thanks so much for watching this.